let me talk to you about somebody who does have stand-up specials, but they just not out. And they should be. And that's going to be my choice, man. My favorite. If you were on Instagram maybe 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, if you remember being on Instagram and you remember seeing funny videos of animals. And, when you think of, look at what you came to see, we the ducks. When you think of who and the the owl videos.
Yes, sir.
None other than Tony Baker.
Yeah, Tony Baker's funny.
Tony Baker.
Funny, underrated too.
Super underrated.
Super underrated.
Him and Kevin on stage together as the Ball Brothers. I went to go see them on tour last year when they did the Ball Brothers tour. It was one of my favorite shows. It was hands down like to me. It used to be, I used to watch them all the time where Tony used to lead up and then Kevin would end. Yeah. And then Kevin was like, nah, we got to switch that up because it was the Bernie Mac effect. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tony, to me, as underrated as he is now, he's getting that critical. He's getting he's finally getting in there. I feel like he's right there. Yeah. He was just on Black Lady Sketch Show. He had a couple reoccurrence roles on Black Lady Sketch Show. I know he had a deleted scene in Whiplash. He's in the background of Whiplash, but he's not in it. But the movie that I know for sure, if y'all see Outlaw Johnny Black. That is Tony Baker, the deputy who ends up giving Johnny all of the help at the end. That is Tony Baker. Yeah. And to me, Tony Baker will always be infamous because he's the black Jerry Seinfeld.
I agree.
When I talk about bits.
I agree.
Because he picks something and then makes that part funny. When he talks about cats, he said cats don't give a fuck about nothing. No. He said they don't care about what's going on, man. We're gonna pay attention to this wall over here. He's like, hey man, some people get shot over. Yeah, but this wall. Like it's that thing that he always has the phrases that he uses too. Skibbity paps. When you think of a skibbity pap, but that's what happens when a cat paws you, but he don't scratch you. That's a skibbity pap. Yeah, that's Tony Baker for me, man. How you feeling about Tony Baker?
Funny thing about Tony Baker, man, and just like you mentioned earlier, I'm a big fan of All Def Digital. I love all of their work.
Absolutely.
They can talk about tomato cans and make it hilarious.
Man, look.
One of my favorite parts when Tony Baker was on an episode of Roast Me. He wasn't on many, but when he was on them, he made an impact. And he told Billy Sorrell to his face that he dressed like pedophile bait.
I got
candy in my banjo.
No. My Tony Baker joke is on All Def Digital when they do the Great Taste.
Oh my!
And they talked about the famous bread.
Yeah.
And they did he said, go ahead, taste them Popeyes biscuits.
Right.
Yeah, they taste like mummy wraps. What? He said,
you don't need that water.
You don't need that water. Eat the whole biscuit without the water. You're dying out here. Right. Yo. Tony Baker to me, he's natural. So underrated, he's naturally funny. Yes. Let me get a piece. His movie reviews is even good. If y'all watch his movie reviews, I love it. Let me go ahead. Give me my camera in. I got to do it one time. Let me give him the smooth jazz review. Oh yeah, I'm gonna call it how I see it. 5 saxophones out of 5. Gotta love me some Tony Baker, man. Yeah. Look, I'm about to say, any final thoughts about Tony Baker? Otherwise, go ahead into yours, man.
No, Tony Baker's good, man. And at one point, we'll meet him and we'll have a conversation.
Oh, yeah, we got to have a piece.
We're big fans. We got to have
for sure, got to have
Listen, we're big fans, Tony
Baker.
Baker.
Who's your number one underrated? Or do you want me to give you mine and then you want to end it?
My number one underrated is Patrice O'Neal. And it's only because, just like you said with Teddy Ray.
Goddamn GOAT.
Just like you said with Teddy Ray, unfortunately, he passed away from a stroke after his diabetes. And he joked about it. That's how much of a comedian he was.
He did.
He joked about it on a roast. When he did a roast me of Mike Tyson, he said, I'm dying of diabetes here. And everybody laughed because he's so funny.
Yeah.
You know, one of his specials was Elephant in the Room.
My favorite.
And one of the bits that he said was, we should have a rape day. Now, of course, when I say that or when anybody says it, they're like, hey, hold on a minute.
Bro, wait a minute, man.
Rape day.
We ain't trying to get demonetized.
We should have a rape day. We should have it on near Thanksgiving. Hey, Teresa, how you doing? Nice titty meet you. Can I fondle your titty meat? You know, can I give some fellatio? Can you give me some fellatio in the broom closet for me, please? You know, and then he had a lot. He had a lot of, right. He had a lot of stand-ups. The good thing about it is he was so edgy that he had to get his name up in London.
Yep.
He had to get his name up in Australia.
Yep.
And he had to do various shows. One of the sketch comedy shows that was on Comedy Central was Kill Room. Kill Room. Kill Room was hilarious. And that's something that inspired a lot of talk shows, a lot of podcasts. You know, he would have his conversation. He would be outspoken, and a lot of people did not want to work for him. Matter of fact, he was in the office, and Steve Carell couldn't stand him.
Yeah.
He said, I'm gonna take order from you, and you're not even funny. You're just a big-nosed white man. And I'm like, oh, okay.
If y'all don't know who Patrice O'Neal is,
hilarious.
Chappelle Show.
Oh,
remember the Player Haters Ball?
Talked about
Boss Hog.
He said, hey, he got small teeth. He got dolphin teeth. He got dolphin teeth.
Yo, you know, thank you for mentioning Patrice O'Neal as one of the underrated. You know, I like
rest in peace, Patrice.
Rest in peace, Patrice O'Neal. I always considered him one of the goats. I always
absolutely.
considered him one of the greatest.
Absolutely,
because he was one of those guys that it's the harsh truth.
Yeah.
But he can make it so funny.
Yeah.
The one joint that he said, an elephant in the room, that gets me every time. He said, women, he said, girls don't even know how to give head correctly. He said, they trying to be all cute. He said, I want her to look at me like she's shaking dice and she make it a hard decision.
Yeah.
Man, when I tell you that takes me out every time, right?
Yeah.
And then he said, my favorite one that he did on the Comedy Central Presents was he said, you know how arrogant we are as Americans? We go to other countries and ask them why they doing what they do. We in London.
Yeah.
And he said, what is that dripping from your lip? Man, where are you from? What is wrong with you? Why do we gotta bring that any and everywhere? Patrice O'Neal is definitely gonna be one of my yes, rest in peace. He's one. Yeah,
unfortunately, it was November 29th when he died. Unfortunately, it was 9 months after Elephant in the Room dropped. So he only seen the piece of the actual height of that. You know, his fiance was there when he passed away. You know, his mother was by his side, which he was really truthful with. Matter of fact, he had a conversation with Kevin Hart, and he said, "Yeah, man, listen, I don't care about she giving me head. I'm going to give her head. I'm going to give her the box. I'm going to do what I'm going to do." And he was like, "Who was you talking to?" "Yeah, my mother."
My mother.
What'd you say? Huh?
Nah, Patrice used to have this, because I'm about to say he was a reoccurring on it wasn't Howard Stern.
Yeah,
was it Howard Stern?
He was on Howard Stern as well.
About to say he had a recurring role as that, and then he did on Comedy Central Presents. They showed him mad love. He was heavily on Crank Yankers.
Yes, sir.
I felt like when he did he used to do the prank phone calls. Shorties watching Shorties, man. Like Patrice O'Neal, he got the decoration, but you didn't know that was him.
Right.
Because he was so well into that market.
Yeah,
man.
not only that, for Patrice O'Neal's genius, isn't it funny that one time he said, "Listen, one day Eminem is going to be your favorite rapper. He's going to be number one, and he's going to be running black entertainment."
Was he right?
I'm gonna let that breathe.
It's cool. It's cool. Listen. The hate don't look good on you. That shirt do, the hate that's smudged on your shirt, it don't look good on you.
He is such a storyteller. And so much so that Chris Rock said, if Patrice O'Neal keeps doing what he's doing, we're all going to be working for him.
Yeah,
he said that publicly.
Yep.
Said that publicly.
And, oh my God, we could just talk about him all day.
All day long.
The last thing that I want to say too is because I'm a student to the game.
Absolutely.
I don't do stand up comedy. It is something that I've been looking into doing, but I do pay attention as a student to the game. He's one of the first comedian hecklers too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Any of those rooms that you was in, if Patrice is back there, he cooking.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And because if you can make Patrice, that used to be a thing. If you can make Patrice laugh. And he invites you to the table, you're in.
Yeah,
so, man, that's one of the things.
It's funny that you mentioned that, man. Kevin Hart was sitting up there bombing on stage, and he threw him a Yellow Pages book, and he said the book was like, "Doom." He said, "Read it. It's more information in there than you."
Yo,
use the numbers in there to call for a new joke.
Listen, they will tell you if any stand-up comedian, if they didn't run into Patrice O'Neal, they missed the gift. Absolutely.